I was terrified.
The British government is recruiting prison guards, but reality is different from the promotional videos.
Councillors.
Physical violence, attacks on fellow inmates or officers. British prisons are overcrowded, so much so that the government had to release some prisoners early.
Teachers.
Francesca Fattora spent almost 4 years behind bars for drug trafficking, some of the time in this women's prison near London. Only once a day were women allowed out of their cells, she remembers.
Absolutely chaotic. You've got all different people from all different walks of life, different crimes. And as soon as they open the doors, it's like letting the animals out of the zoo because everyone's so loud.
Her cell had been designed for just one person, but because of overcrowding, she was joined by another inmate. Many women around her were suffering from mental health problems, she says. Across the UK, the rates of prisoners who are self-harming is at a record high.
You're left with your own thoughts, and if you're somebody that doesn't do well with sitting with yourself, which I didn't at first, it's horrible because once you're locked in there, and if you're locked in all day as well, you just overthink absolutely everything.
The UK Justice Secretary defends the government. They were only elected in July and had inherited the crisis, she claims.
But this government will build the prisons the last Conservative government promised but failed to deliver. But in seeking a lasting solution to our prisons crisis, we must be honest too, in a way that my predecessors were not. We cannot build our way out of this problem. Sentences must encourage offenders to turn their backs on crime. We need both sticks and carrots.
Because of spending cuts under the previous government, fewer and fewer prisoners have been given the opportunity to continue their education in prison, and the quality of training has steadily declined in recent years, according to the government's own analysis. And employment opportunities are rare. The London coffee chain Redemption Roasters is one of the few employers willing to give prisoners a chance.
If you have a job on leaving prison or within the first 6 weeks of leaving prison, you're half as likely to reoffend as somebody who doesn't.
Their coffee roasting is done within a prison. Convicts are being trained as baristas. Only 4% of them go on to reoffend within a year, as opposed to over 30% nationwide. The new government is looking to increase schemes like this. Rad is still learning in his new job as a barista. Before he was given a chance at Redemption Roasters, he had spent several years in jail, mostly having nothing to do.
When I asked whether there would be any positions available for employment, like cleaning the corridors or anything, I've been told that there's a long waiting list, and we are just ending up being in a cell locked up for about 23 hours a day. All we can do is a little bit of exercise, and we've got television over there.
Rad meets his caseworker Patrick once a week, who is also employed by Redemption Roasters, a service that other ex-prisoners don't get, as probation officers don't have time for much individual support. However, the employees have to keep up their end of the bargain too.
We provide support, but there's also a bottom line where we say we're business. We're not a charity, and if you're not showing willingness to work with us, then I'm sorry, we're going to have to move on.
So what was your experience like giving birth in prison?
Francesca Fattora hopes to earn money as a YouTuber. She's had some success already with a channel that is dedicated to helping female prisoners. She advocates for community service instead of jail for those who have committed less serious crimes, something that the new government is also looking at. But employment remains the biggest challenge, she reckons.
Give people a chance, because if you'd employed me, I'd work 10 times harder than you would, because I'd be grateful for one, and two, I'd want to prove myself that you made the right decision.
Francesca Fattora considers herself lucky. In prison, she benefited from therapy sessions that helped her to move on from drug trafficking. She hopes that in the future, more help and more training will be available for others too.